All right, welcome. Today we're going to tackle a part of German grammar that can feel, well, a little tricky. But trust me, it's your secret weapon for sounding way more natural. We're talking about the simple past tense, the Präteritum. So, let's get right into it.
So, here's the big question, right? The one that gets almost everyone. You find out German has two main ways to talk about the past, so when on earth do you use this one? It can feel like you're trying to crack some kind of secret code. But don't worry, that's exactly what we're going to do today.
And here it is, the big secret. You see, while most of the time you're just chatting, you probably use the other past tense, the perfect. But the Präteritum is totally king in two key areas. First, it's all over written German. Think stories, news reports, that kind of thing. And here's the really important part for us. It's pretty much mandatory for a handful of super common verbs, even when you're just talking. You just got to use it.
Okay, let's start with the absolute must-knows, the non-negotiables. If you learn nothing else, you've got to get these two down. They are the bedrock, the foundation. We're talking, of course, about the past tense of to be and to have.
First up, we've got sein, which means to be. In the past tense, its core becomes war. So, I was is ich war. You were, du warst. We were is wir waren. You're going to see these forms absolutely everywhere, so it's a good idea to get familiar with them.
Now check this out. Here's a fantastic little shortcut that's going to make your life so much easier. Look at the form for ich, I, and the form for sie, he, she, it. They're exactly the same. Both are just var. This is not a coincidence, my friend. This is a core pattern of the Präteritum. If you can lock this in, you're seriously halfway there.
All right, next up is our second powerhouse verb, haben, or to have. In the Präteritum, its stem changes to hatt. So, I had becomes ich hatte. You had is du hattest. We had, wir hatten. You get the idea. Just like war, you're going to hear and use hatte all the time.
And would you look at that? There it is again, the exact same pattern. Ich hatte is a perfect match for sie, es hatte. This isn't just random memorization, you're seeing a system here. This I equals he, she, it rule, it's your secret key to unlocking the past tense.
Okay, so we've got our foundation set with was and had. Now it's time to add some power-ups to our conversational toolkit. I'm talking about the modal verbs. You know, words like can, want, must. These guys almost always use the Präteritum, even when you're just kicking back and chatting with friends.
So here are the big ones you'll run into. Can, können, becomes konnte. Want, wollen, becomes wollte. Must, müssen, becomes musste. Are you seeing the pattern? A lot of them just take their stem, tack on a te ending, and here's a key tip. If the original verb had an umlaut, like the o in können, it just disappears in the past tense. So it's konnte, not könnte.
So, how do you actually build a sentence with these? Easy. You use the classic German verb sandwich. The modal verb, like waltzen here, snuggles up right after the subject. Then you pile all the other info into the middle, and the main action verb, in this case gehen, gets booted all the way to the very end of the sentence. Wir wollten nach Hause gehen. We wanted to go home. See? Sandwich.
All right, we've totally nailed the conversational must-haves. Now, let's switch gears and look at the verbs you'll find when you're reading, in stories and articles. We'll start with the easy ones, the super predictable ones, the regular verbs.
Believe it or not, forming the past tense for most German verbs is like following a simple three-step recipe. Step 1. Take your verb, like spielen, and chop off the ending to get the stem, spiel. Step 2. Add the special past tense marker, which is te. And step 3, just sprinkle on the usual personal ending for whoever's doing the action. That's it.
This right here, this is the golden rule. Seriously, if you're looking for an easy way to think about this, just imagine that the German te suffix is basically the same thing as the English ed suffix. Play becomes played, spiel becomes spielte. It's the exact same idea, just in a different language.
And you can see just how consistent this is. I spielte, I played. Sie kochte, she cooked. Wir lernten, we learned. And hey, our favorite pattern is back. The ish form and the sie s form are identical. See? This predictability is what makes them regular. No surprises.
And now for the really fun part. If the regular verbs are the reliable workhorses of storytelling, then the strong verbs, well, they're the special effects. They're a little more dramatic, a little flashy, and they make a big impact by changing in a very cool, specific way. So what exactly makes a strong verb strong? It's actually pretty simple. Instead of just adding that te ending like the regular guys, these verbs change the vowel sound right in the middle of the word. They get a whole new vowel. They don't use te at all, and their endings follow that other pattern we already saw with var.
Let's actually see this vowel change in action because it's pretty cool. To go, gehen, becomes ging in the past. To speak, sprechen, turns into sprach. To drive, fahren, morphs into fuhr. You can literally see that middle vowel shifting. This is something you'll just start to get a feel for as you read more, and you'll memorize the most common ones over time.
Okay, let's look at a full example with gain, which became ging. Now, notice the endings here. There's no ending for ich. You've got est for do, en for wir. Hey, that's the exact same ending pattern we saw with ich war, du warst. And, yup, our trusty shortcut is here too. Ich ging is the same as sie es ging. It's all starting to connect, isn't it?
Okay, wow. We have covered a lot of ground here. We've gone from the conversational essentials to the regular te verbs and all the way to those dramatic, vowel-changing strong verbs. So, how do you actually learn all this stuff without getting overwhelmed? Let's put it all together into a super clear, actionable game plan.
Here is your roadmap. This is what you should focus on in order. Priority number 1 for speaking German every day is to absolutely master war, hatte, and the past tense modals like konnte and wollte. Seriously, these are non-negotiable. Then, priority number 2, which is going to help you with reading, is to just learn to recognize those te verbs. You don't have to use them perfectly at first, just spot them. And finally, priority 3, for when you want to become a really great storyteller, is to slowly start memorizing the most common strong verbs, like ging, kam, and za.
So, when you break it all down like this, when you see the simple patterns and the powerful shortcuts, the Präteritum really isn't so scary, is it? It's just a tool. It's a tool that helps you speak more naturally, read with more confidence, and tell much richer, more interesting stories. And really, the only question left is, are you ready to tell yours?